What's up, everybody? Another day of push and record and talking to y'all. And today we're going to be talking about one thing that you can do to have your money start making money. And it doesn't have to do with investing. Recently in the last year, I switched from having a Bank of America account to having two different accounts with two different online banks. And I'm going to talk about that process with you. For the longest time, I've used Bank of America just because that was the account I set up, I think, like in college, and just was using because I had checks. I pay rent with a check, so it's like I needed those physical things. And it was just, all my accounts were attached to it, and I just didn't feel like changing. I had no reason to until I started like worrying about my money and like wanting to do everything I could to like make sure I was putting myself in a good position. And it wasn't until recently where I was like, you know what? I'm out here talking about money with people and I'm not even following my own advice. So I decided to make a switch to remove my money from Bank of America and put it into other accounts. Now, I have two different banks online that I'm using right now for different reasons. I have Ally and I also have SoFi. I wanted to try SoFi just because I was seeing it and, I just wanted to see what the differences were. But they both offer high yield savings accounts. At the time when I signed up, they were at like 4%, but now they fluctuate. So now it's around like 3.8% return on your money if you keep them in there. And the reason why they do that is because banks use your money to invest in other things. And for keeping your money at their bank, they're giving you interest on the money you keep in there. So my process of doing it, I just knew it was going to be like a hassle. So what I did was make a list of all the things, like my credit cards, my bills, and everything that was attached to my Bank of America account, made a list of that. And then I just made a checklist of, things I was going to transfer over to the new accounts. And to set up accounts with Ally and SoFi is takes 2 seconds. It's not hard to set up an account with them, but it has you dealing with your money completely online. So you can't just go to a physical place and pull out money from an ATM, but they do offer ATMs where you don't get charged. So you can go to a store and just take money out. But I honestly haven't withdrawn money in so long, it's crazy. But regardless, so I started with SoFi, but I needed those physical checks to pay rent. So Ally offers free checks. Another thing that sucks about Bank of America, their interest was 0.01% or something on your money. So I was barely making 2 cents on my interest payments when they were paying me. So I was like, that's BS. Then they also have things withdraw, or if you withdraw too much money and you don't have enough on your balance, they'll charge you $35. And it's just these other banks don't really do that. So that's why I was getting out of there. I never really overdraw money or anything like that, but just in case, something happens. But regardless, so then I just went through my checklist and attached it to my Ally account because that's my main account. SoFi is really a joint one with my fiance that we are starting to save money in, and just was checking them off, attaching them to Ally and making sure. And then I waited about a month to make sure that, with no money in there, that things weren't going to be withdrawing from my Bank of America account. Because if I forgot some account or something, I didn't want it to try to be pulling from there and there's, I still have no access to that account. So after a month went by, I decided to just close my account at Bank of America, and now all my money is in Ally and SoFi. And what's cool about that is that I've been making so much money just keeping my savings in there. I'd still tell you to maybe invest in something like the S&P 500 because I feel like there's a better return there. But if you're just not into investing and want to be making money off of money you're just saving, high yield savings accounts are where it's at. So, that was the process of doing that. What's cool about those accounts is they have these things like buckets where you can save for different things. We save for emergencies, for house, for fun, and you can just put that money in, distribute it automatically, and it's really cool. And I've been making way more money. Sorry, we got this Apache helicopter or something flying by right here. There's a lot of activity over this parking lot for some reason all the time, but regardless, It's been really cool to see how much money actually you can make just by keeping your savings in a good bank account. And I recommend you do the same. It's really silly having time go by and just not making money off of money you're already saving. Another thing is like inflation. If you're keeping your money in something like Bank of America and you're just saving and saving and saving, eventually a lot of that gets lost to inflation. So you're actually losing money. So this is kind of necessary if you're actually caring about, your money moving forward. I definitely recommend changing to something like what I've suggested, or doing your research and finding a bank that does stuff like this. So that's pretty much all I got for this one. I don't want to keep rambling about bank accounts and stuff, but it's a serious thing. I totally recommend it, and do it sooner than later, because it's a little, I want to say difficult. It's simple but not easy. But get started on it. I just told you how I did it, and I'm so happy that it's done, and it's the way it's going to be moving forward. So that's pretty much it. My name is Sai. I'm an actor, creative director, and daily YouTuber, and I help creatives take what they love and turn it into something real and build a life that actually works. So if you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you feel like this content is resonating with you, please give me a subscribe. In the comments, what do you recommend with what's going on with your banking? Do you have all this anxiety about changing banks? Let me know in the comments what you guys got going on, because we should be helping each other, And also, YouTube is popping up these videos on your screen right now recommending that you're gonna like them, and I know you're gonna like them, so do that. All right, guys, you're just getting started, and let's get this money. I'll see you guys in the next one, all right? We're building this life on purpose. Woo!